My name's Clara, a 61-year-old with a mini hotel to my name, a labor of love I started with my late husband, Jack. After Jack passed, he left me everything, the hotel and our home. It's been my world for over 20 years. I take pride in greeting every guest, tackling every issue that pops up, and I do it all while living just a short walk away. My son, Mark, and his wife, Sarah, live with me, a decision we made 5 years back when they tied the knot. Mark's a sales manager at some construction outfit, a job he clings to while my dream of him taking over the hotel business fades daily. He's just not into it, no matter how much I hint or outright push the idea. One overcast Tuesday, the air in our home was as heavy as the clouds outside. I was in the kitchen, the smell of fresh coffee mixing with my frustration. "Mark, Sarah, breakfast," I called, not expecting much of a response. They stumbled in, bleary-eyed, Sarah glued to her phone and Mark looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. "Got anything besides eggs?" Sarah mumbled, not looking up. "Eggs are what's on, take it or leave it," I snapped back, my patience thinning. Mark shot me a look, a silent plea to keep the peace. "Mom, can't we just have a morning without the snark?" Mark asked, his tone tired. "I wouldn't have to be snarky if you two helped out a bit around here. Or, heaven forbid, showed some interest in the hotel," I retorted, pouring myself a coffee, the bitterness in my mouth matching my mood. Mark scoffed, rubbing the back of his neck. "Come on, you know that's not for me. And Sarah, well, Sarah is busy." "Busy?" I laughed, a harsh sound even to my own ears. "Doing what, exactly? Your generation's got some funny ideas about work." Sarah finally looked up, her eyes narrow. "We're not all cut out for the hospitality circus, Clara. I've got my own things going on." I set my cup down, harder than I meant to. "Hospitality circus? This circus is what's kept a roof over your heads and food in your bellies. All I'm asking for is a bit of respect and maybe a hand once in a while." Mark stood, his chair scraping against the floor. "We're not having this fight again. I'm off to work." He kissed Sarah on the cheek and gave me a wide berth as he left. Sarah, unfazed, returned to her phone. "I'll be out today too. Don't wait up." As the door slammed behind them, I was left alone in the silence. Their indifference stung, a constant reminder of the chasm between my dreams for us as a family and the reality we lived. I sighed, my anger giving way to a heavy sadness. The hotel, my passion, was a solo act, and my hopes of sharing it with Mark felt more foolish by the day. I wondered what Jack would say if he could see us now, his legacy a source of tension rather than unity. But as the day began, guests awaited, and problems needed solving. I straightened my back, my resolve firming. This hotel was my life's work, and I'd carry on, with or without their help. After all, tough love was still love, and I had plenty of that to go around even if it came with a side of tough words. One evening, as I tried to manage the hotel's bookings and prepare dinner simultaneously, Alex waltzed into the kitchen, his phone glued to his ear. He was laughing about something with a buddy on the line, completely oblivious to the chaos around him. "Hey, Mom, what's for dinner?" he asked, ending his call, but not offering to lift a finger to help. "Stew," I replied shortly, my patience wearing thin. "Could use a hand here, you know." Alex smirked. "Oh, come on, you've got it under control. Besides, Sarah's not feeling up to cooking these days." That much was clear. Sarah hadn't lifted a spoon in weeks, much less contributed to any other aspect of our shared lives. It wasn't just about the cooking, it was everything, the cleaning, the bills, the endless list of tasks that kept our lives running smoothly. "Speaking of Sarah," I ventured, trying to keep my voice even, "it'd be nice if both of you could help out a bit more around here. I'm not as young as I used to be, you know." Alex's expression soured. "Really, Mom? We're guests in your house. Don't start with us." "Guests?" The word tasted bitter in my mouth. "Guests don't stay for 5 years, Alex. Guests help out, they respect the house rules. He scoffed. Rules? What are we, kids? Look, we're comfortable the way things are. Why change anything? That's when Sarah walked in, her timing impeccable as always. Change what? She asked, eyeing us both warily. I turned to her, my resolve firming. I was just telling Alex here that I could use some help around the house. And the hotel too, if you're up for it. Sarah laughed, a harsh sound that made me wince. The hotel? You're joking, right? That's your thing, not ours. We've got our lives to live. Their lives, I thought bitterly. As if the business that kept a roof over our heads and food on our table was just a hobby of mine, not a lifeline for all of us. I'm not asking for much. I pressed on, feeling the anger build. Just some basic decency. Respect. A bit of help. Is that too much to ask from my own son and his wife? Alex's face hardened. Decency? Respect? You're making it sound like we're freeloaders. If the shoe fits, I muttered under my breath, immediately regretting it as Alex's face went red with anger. What did you just say? He snapped, stepping closer. I stood my ground, tired of walking on eggshells in my own home. You heard me. I can't keep doing everything alone. This isn't just a place for you to crash. It's my home, my business. I poured my life into it. Sarah grabbed Alex's arm, pulling him back. Let's not do this now, she hissed, shooting me a glare that could freeze boiling water. We'll talk about this later, Clara. When you're not so emotional. Emotional. As if my feelings were just an inconvenience to them. They stormed out of the kitchen, leaving me alone with the bubbling stew and my swirling thoughts. The rift between us had grown too wide to ignore. I knew then that something had to give. I couldn't let them walk all over me, not in my own house. But as I stood there, listening to the silence that followed their departure, I couldn't shake the feeling of dread. Where would we go from here? How did we even start to mend what had been broken so carelessly? Months rolled by, the same old routine grinding me down. One night, I had it up to here with the whole situation. So, I figured I'd give talking another shot, hoping maybe, just maybe, things would change. Alex, Sarah, we need to talk, I said, standing in the living room with my hands on my hips, staring at them lounging on the sofa, eyes glued to the TV. What's up, Mom? Alex asked, not taking his eyes off the screen. It's about helping out around here. I'm not getting any younger, you know. I could really use some help with the house, and the hotel. I tried to keep my voice steady, but I could feel the frustration bubbling up inside. Sarah rolled her eyes, a smirk playing on her lips. Oh, come on, Clara. You've got everything under control. Why change anything now? Yeah, Mom, you're like Superwoman or something. Besides, we're kinda busy. Alex chimed in, laughing as if the matter was just a big joke. That laugh of his, it was like a punch to the gut. Busy? Doing what? Watching TV? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like I'm the only one doing any actual work around here. Alex's laughter died down, and he shot me a look. Hey, when you're gone, all this will be mine anyway. Then I'll clean up, he said, echoing Sarah's cruel humor. Those words, they stung more than I expected. So, that's it, huh? You're just waiting for me to kick the bucket? Is that what she's telling you to think? I pointed at Sarah, my voice rising despite my attempts to keep calm. Sarah shrugged, unfazed. Clara, please. You're making a mountain out of a molehill. We're just being realistic here. Realistic. That word, coming from her, it was almost laughable. Not long after, Alex came home with a long face, announced he'd lost his job. Something about deals falling through. For a moment, I felt for him, I really did. So, I offered him a lifeline. Alex, why don't you come work at the hotel? There's plenty for you to do, and it'll keep you busy till you find something else. But no, he wouldn't have it. Work at the hotel? Mom, I'm looking for something a bit more prestigious. Thanks, but no thanks. prestigious. As if the work I'd done all these years meant nothing. Months dragged on, and his job hunt turned up zilch. Not a surprise, really, given how he spent his days. It dawned on me then, they were never going to change. My home was just a waiting room to them, and my life's work was nothing but a future payday they hadn't earned. I was beat, running on fumes really, between the hotel and looking after Alex and Sarah. It got to the point where I even started seeing a psychologist, just to keep my head straight. She suggested I take a break, said I needed to get away for a bit to recharge. Made sense, I hadn't had a real vacation in years. So, at dinner one night, I brought it up, expecting them to brush off the idea. But Sarah, of all people, jumped on it. "Why don't we book you a nice getaway? Hawaii sounds perfect for you. Just leave it to me, I'll sort everything out." She told me how much it would cost, and I, thinking this was some sort of turning point, transferred her the money without a second thought. The excitement bubbled inside me. Hawaii. It's been ages since I'd been anywhere. I got everything arranged at the hotel, made sure the staff knew what to do while I was gone, even got a couple extra hands to help out. But then, the night before I was supposed to leave, something felt off. I asked Sarah to send me the ticket and booking info. Her response froze me in my tracks. "Oh, there's no need for that. We used the money for ourselves. Figured it's a better use. You just stay here and look after things, like always," she said, so nonchalantly, as if she was talking about what to have for dinner. I couldn't believe my ears. "What did you just say?" My voice was a mix of disbelief and rising anger. Alex laughed, a sound that echoed like mockery in my own home. "Yeah, Mom, we needed the break more than you did. You know how it is." I stared at them, feeling a chill run down my spine. These weren't the people I knew. My own son, laughing at my expense. My heart sank. "You stole from me, for a vacation?" Stole is such a harsh word. "We're family, right? What's yours is ours," Sarah quipped, smirking like she'd pulled off some clever trick. I felt sick. My own family, turning on me like this. "I trusted you," I managed to say, my voice barely above a whisper. Alex shrugged, still with that grin that I now found grotesque. "Come on, Mom. It's not a big deal. You can go some other time." I looked at them, really looked at them, and saw strangers where my family should have been. My heart was heavy, a mix of betrayal and clarity settling in. They didn't care about me, not really. All this time, I was just a means to an end for them. That night, I lay awake, the pain of betrayal gnawing at me. But as dawn crept in, so did a resolve. If they could be cold, so could I. It was time to make some changes, time to show that I wasn't just going to roll over and take it. They wanted to play games? Fine. But they wouldn't like the new rules I was about to set. Waking up the morning after Alex and Sarah's departure felt different. The silence in the house wasn't just physical, it was emotional, a space cleared for resolve and action. Today marked the first day of taking back my life. I remembered a call from a few weeks back, a buyer interested in the house. I had pushed the thought away then, not ready to let go of what the house represented. But now, it symbolized chains that bound me to betrayal and ingratitude. It was time to cut those chains. Picking up the phone, I dialed the buyer's number, my heart pounding with a mix of nerves and determination. "Hello, this is Clara. I'm reconsidering your offer for the house. Are you still interested?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. The buyer was more than interested, the eagerness in their voice was palpable. "Absolutely, Mrs. Clara. We're still very interested. Given your change of heart, may I offer $500,000? The buyer proposed, a figure that exceeded my expectations. The next few days were a blur of activity. I arranged for movers, directing them as they packed up decades of my life into boxes. Watching my belongings being carted away was surreal, but the vision of Alex and Sarah's shock upon their return kept me going. Their belongings, those they accumulated without a thought to cost or contribution, were boxed up and relegated to the hotel's storage. I briefed my staff with explicit instructions. These boxes are not to be touched or moved without my direct say-so. Understood? Their nods and murmurs of agreement bolstered my resolve. Turning my now empty home over for sale required one last push. I enlisted the help of the maids from the hotel, guiding their efforts to polish and preen each room until it sparkled. The house, devoid of my presence, was ready to find a new owner. The sale concluded swiftly, the house no longer mine within 3 days. But I wasn't done yet. With the weight of my old life lifting, I decided it was time for the vacation I was denied. Miami beckoned with promises of sunshine and solace. I booked myself into a seafront hotel, indulging in the kind of luxury I had always denied myself. At the airport, I felt a surge of freedom. My phone, usually so crucial to my daily existence, was turned off and tucked away. No disturbances. This time is mine, I whispered to myself, a mantra for the journey ahead. As the plane soared into the skies, my thoughts drifted to Alex and Sarah. I imagined their return, the confusion and realization dawning on them as they found the house sold, their belongings boxed and stored, their safety net gone. Would they understand the lesson here? Would they finally see the value of respect and contribution? For the first time in a long while, I smiled genuinely, the weight of years of servitude lifting off my shoulders. This vacation wasn't just a break, it was a declaration of independence, a reclaiming of my dignity and my future. And it was only just beginning. Switching on my phone as I settled into the Miami sun, I braced for the onslaught of notifications. Missed calls and texts from Alex and Sarah lit up the screen, a digital testament to the chaos I'd left behind. Instead of wading into that mess, I dialed my hotel, connecting with my trusted assistant, Jenna. "Hey, Jenna, it's Clara. Give me the scoop. How did the welcome party go for our esteemed guests?" I asked, a smirk playing on my lips as I envisioned the scene. Jenna's laughter greeted me. "Oh, Clara, you missed a show." They showed up, bewildered and fuming, dragging their luggage behind them. "I played it cool, told them you were out but had left some belongings for them." I chuckled, imagining their confusion turning to disbelief. "And the storage bill? How did that go down?" Like a lead balloon, Jenna recounted with glee. Alex tried to puff up, claiming ownership of the hotel, saying they wouldn't pay. I almost laughed in his face. I told him, "Sir, without payment, I'm obliged to call law enforcement for attempted theft." You should have seen him scramble for his wallet. I laughed openly now, picturing Alex's indignation. And the room? Did they actually think they'd just waltz in and get a room? Oh, they did. Alex, with all his bravado gone, sheepishly asked for a room. I quoted them the special family rate of $10,000 per night. The look on their faces, "Clara, I wish I had taken a picture." Alex turned red, and Sarah's mouth snapped shut so fast I heard it. Satisfaction coursed through me. "Brilliant, Jenna. And when they left, what then? Did they say where they were going?" Jenna hesitated, her amusement fading a tad. "No clue. They just stormed out, cursing under their breath." Sarah was ranting about getting lawyers, but Alex, he looked defeated, "Clara." Like a little boy lost. A pang of something, regret, maybe, fluttered in my chest, but I quickly quashed it. They made their bed, Jenna. And I'm out here, finally taking a break from all that madness. Keep things running smoothly for me, will you? Of course, Clara. Enjoy Miami. You've more than earned it, Jenna reassured me, her voice warm. We said our goodbyes, and I turned my phone off again, not ready to let the world back in just yet. Lying back, I let the sounds of the waves and the warmth of the sun envelop me. For the first time in too long, I felt at peace, free from guilt, free from obligation. Alex and Sarah had chosen their path, and I, mine. Settling into a routine back at the hotel, I took up one of the rooms temporarily. It was an odd feeling, being both at home and not, but it gave me a chance to think about what I really wanted next. The early mornings were peaceful, a time for planning and reflection before the day kicked off. One morning, not long after I'd returned, my phone rang with a ferocity that only Alex could muster. "Mom, you owe me half of what you got for the house. And I'm not stopping there, I want half of the hotel too. It's only fair," he blurted out, barely taking a breath. I couldn't help but laugh, not out of amusement, but disbelief. "Alex, everything I own, I worked for. Your father made sure everything was legally mine before he passed. You're not entitled to any of it just because you're my son." There was a pause, then stuttering. The bravado seemed to drain out of him. "Mom, I'm sorry, okay? Look, I was out of line. Maybe we can start over? I could move back in, help out around the hotel?" His words, dripping with sudden affection, didn't reach me. "No, Alex. It's too late for that. You've made your choices, and I've made mine. We're better off going our separate ways." The line went dead. I knew then I'd turned a corner. There was no going back, only forward. 3 months of peace and hard work later, I found myself signing the papers for a new house in the same area. It was a fresh start, a place I could truly call my own without the shadows of past resentments. The house was perfect, nestled in a quiet neighborhood, with just the right amount of space for me, and none for unwelcome guests. After buying a house, I decided to change something in my business. The first order of business was a staff meeting. Gathering everyone in the cozy lounge of the hotel, I could see the curiosity in their eyes. They'd been with me through thick and thin, and I owed them my new vision. "Morning, everyone. I want to talk about some changes," I started, my voice steady. "First, thank you. Without your support, I couldn't have taken the time I needed. Now, I'm back, and it's time we take this place to the next level." Murmurs of agreement and nods filled the room. Encouraged, I continued. "We're going to renovate. Update the rooms, the lobby, even the exterior. But it's not just about the physical changes. I want us to be the best small hotel in town, known for our service and warmth." Jenna, always my right-hand woman, smiled. "Sounds fantastic, Clara. We're all in. What do you need from us?" "Enthusiasm, ideas, and hard work. We're going to brainstorm ways to improve guest experiences, streamline our operations, and maybe even expand our services. Think outside the box," I encouraged them, feeling a buzz of excitement in the room. As the meeting wrapped up, I felt lighter than I had in years. The team was invigorated, full of suggestions ranging from eco-friendly initiatives to community events. It was exactly the kind of energy I'd hoped to inspire. After the whole ordeal, I made a big decision: to change my will. Everything I worked for, every brick laid in that hotel, and every penny saved for the house, wasn't going to be wasted. I decided it would all go to a charitable foundation, something that would make a real difference. I had my lawyer break the news to Alex, figuring it was better coming from him than me. The reaction was immediate. Alex showed up at the hotel, his face a mix of anger and desperation. "Mom, this can't be right. The lawyer said you're cutting me out completely? That can't be what you want." I looked at him, really looked at him. "Alex, it's exactly what I want. I've given you every opportunity to be a part of this, to be part of something bigger. You chose a different path." He was pacing now, running his hands through his hair. "But we're family. You can't just leave me with nothing. Sarah and we're struggling here." "That was your choice, Alex. I'm offering you a way to work for what you need. A job at the hotel, $4,000 a month, and a room if you need it for $75 a night. It's more than fair." His face twisted in indignation. "Work? Like some entry-level grunt? No way. I deserve more than that." I sighed, a deep, weary breath. "Then you're on your own, Alex. I can't help someone who won't help themselves." He stormed out, and that was that. Later, through the grapevine, I heard Sarah left him after finding out the inheritance was a no-go. I felt a pang for him, I won't lie, but he needed to face his own music. Now, it's just me, my hotel, and my peace. I've found joy in the little things, in the quiet mornings, and the bustling days at the hotel. I've got my health, my friends, and a community that respects me. Alex, well, I hope one day he finds his way, learns the value of hard work and maybe, just maybe, understands why I did what I had to do.